Insecurity is at the heart of every rivalry. Beth Moore. The pursuit of anime is an aim to explore philosophical topics through the medium of anime, to create discussion and to enlighten ourselves. We are by no means professionals, and the content of this podcast is pure discussion meant to stimulate and exercise our minds, and hopefully yours too. Now, today the topic is the importance of rivalry. And I guess that kind of quote that we opened up with, insecurity is at the heart of every rivalry, is something that we're probably gonna contest today. Um, and
What does
us
that even
being
mean? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hello. I know
it's
usually
us.
we do our intro, but you just said that quote and it triggered everything inside of me. I'm like, nah, what does that even mean?
That's what
Like,
I'm saying. Yeah, that's why I wanted to start off with it actually, Teddy, because I was like, I saw that I'm like, you know what? We usually start off with a quote that kind of just agrees with exactly everything we're saying. Why not just start off with a quote that's just kind of very vague and seems to be the complete opposite of what the title is? So what do you think about that, Teddy? Like insecurity is at the heart of every rivalry. So like if you have any sort of rivalries in your life, Teddy, it's because you have some certain insecurity within yourself. Do you agree with that?
uh, listen, man, I don't understand that because my number one rivalry is with myself, first of all, right? And because usually when we talk about this topic, typically we're talking about somebody else also that you're going up against in one way or another. But really, at the end of the day, your number one rivalry for most of us should be with yourself, like always challenging yourself, always trying to be a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
I can see like where they're coming from with that quote because it's like you feel like there's something you need to make up for or compensate for, and that's why you end up in the. But see, the thing I struggle is like it's not always because that quote implies that if you have some kind of insecurity, you're going to end up making a rival out of whoever is that source of insecurity for you. Like, let's say, for example, you see somebody who has bigger arms than you, or you just feel like your arms are too small, and you see them like, oh man, I really want to get arms as big as that guy. So then that's the impetus for you challenging them and being like, all right, I'm gonna try to get my arms bigger than yours, or at the very least as big. And so that's where the rivalry stems from. I'm like, I don't think that's always the case. In fact, usually I feel like some of the greatest rivalries in the history of mankind, they haven't stemmed from a place of insecurity. It's more so from having a competitive nature. You see somebody else and they're really good at what they do, or they excel in one particular field, and you see them and you get inspired by that, and you think, oh wow, I really want to prove not only to them but mainly to myself that I can be that good, if not even better.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of I feel insecure about something, so that's why I'm going to push myself. No, it's I'm trying to be the greatest. I'm trying to be great at something, and that's what that stems from. So I feel like whoever came up with that quote, they were in a very particular mental space when they came up with that, because I can see some truth to it, but it is so not the reality in most cases that I feel like it's kind of disingenuous to the nature of rivalries to just chalk it all up to, oh, it's just because you have an insecurity. That doesn't make sense to me. That's a criminal overgeneralization of the nature of rivalries, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's just a blanket statement, I think, and
Blanket
one
statement.
of
That's
the
what I was looking for. Yes.
one of the problems with it is that it doesn't take into account like there's different type of rivalries, like you were just pointing out. Like I can definitely see how certain rivalries can be unhealthy and toxic and not good for anybody, right?
Mhm.
Like for example, At work recently, I mean, you know this, there's a lot of people, but for those obviously listening, basically a lot of I guess the old crew has left. I'm a server, so a lot of the old crew is leaving, and yet another one just left. And now like we have a lot of new hires, and the new hires are kind of having these conversations where they're like, "Oh, Raven, you're the top server now. You're this, you're that. Like you're the top gun, you're the top dog around these parts now." And I just keep telling them like, "No, that's not the way that things work around here. There was never any top dog or top gun. That's not how we work here. That's never the type of work environment that we want to like promote. You don't have to feel like you're beneath me because, I'm some sort of like serving waiter, maestro or something. Like it's just a job, dude. We're here to make some money, and we have a more family kind of cozy atmosphere, and we're very lax. We're not like super uber, pinky up, professional. Everything has to be by the book. We have to always get better and strive to be better at service. We're there to do a job. We're there to have fun, laugh, joke, gossip with each other, and just like have a great time while making some money. That's it. Don't make it more than it is, right? So in that sense, building that kind of rivalry amongst each other would kind of ruin what we already have, which is just a friendly kind of almost like a safe space, you could say, um, at the workplace. I know another topic we talked about recently was beauty standards, where I revealed to you, and this is spoiler alert because we're probably going to do a video on this eventually, but I think that beauty standards, maybe that they're not real, but like to a big extent, they're a social construct and they're a mental construct that we build in our minds. And we kind of start to get this idea of like, oh, well, I'm just not attractive. I'm just like, if only I was that pretty as this girl or that girl. Everybody finds her pretty, but like, it's like, that's just something that you constructed in your mind. You're holding this person to a pedestal that might not even be true, right? Because societies change. What a Samoan finds attractive will be totally different from what a South Korean finds attractive, and so on and so forth. So, putting yourself up to this kind of almost imaginary standard is not going to be healthy. And you're creating these unhealthy kind of imaginary rivalries in your head based off of what you think society, the consensus of society is. So, in those senses, I can see rivalry as being a negative thing. Even Peter Jackson has a quote. He says, "Rivalry doesn't help anybody." Now, this is where you start to get to the point where I just don't understand how you can believe
That's
that
soft. That's
rivalry.
incredibly soft. That's a
Exactly. How can you
soft
believe that?
mindset. That could
How
never
can you
be
believe?
me. Yeah, go
How,
ahead. My fault.
no, like just to finish, how can you believe that rivalry doesn't help anybody? Like, just to go to another experience that I've had, rivalry has helped me tremendously. In the gym, I would have never gone to the gym if this. I was in high school when I was 15. A senior pulled me to the side and told me, "Hey, join us, man. Like, come to the gym with us." And if I had never gone to the gym, I never would have seen them lifting so much more than me. And we used to do boxing and MMA, so I would have never seen them lasting so many more rounds than me in the ring. And that never would have like sparked a fire in me to train harder and get to their level and even surpass them. So rivalry is beneficial, Teddy. I don't know how you've experienced rivalry.
No, it's absolutely beneficial. I feel like when I say there's many different aspects of life that are part of the human experience, and rivalries are one of them. I feel like if you had a remotely fulfilling childhood, you've experienced some form of it at some point in time, whether subconsciously or consciously. You've gone through that. And for me, somebody saying that there are no benefits to be gotten out of rivalries, to me is it's marshmallow soft. Okay, it's tofu soft. I don't know. why you'd ever think that, because for one, the way I look at it is another tool for self-improvement. So put it this way, like the working example you just gave, right? There's another way to look at it, to spin it, where it will be a healthy, productive type of situation. So if, let's say, I'm a new server, right? Like I come in here and I see that you've been doing your thing for forever. Listen, it's a fact. You are factually better than me. It's not even, trying to set up some kind of antagonistic environment. That's just the reality. It's like, I just got here. You've been here. Like, you understand the system better than me. You know what kind of customers y'all get. You know how to burden them up, how to make them get that extra bottle of wine, whatever have you. I don't know nothing. So my job now is to get like you. So it's a competition. I'm looking at it as, you are what I'm trying to achieve, and if eventually surpass if I can. But I'm not turning into a thing where I'm going to be antagonistic towards you. I'm going to be mad at you because, oh, I feel like you're the big man and I'm trying to overtake you. No, it's like, this is the blueprint. This is the ideal that I'm aspiring to be for this job. Like, what I'm trying to get out of this. If I'm trying to move up and trying to make moves, this is what I need to be like. Or this is what I need to surpass. So I'll be looking at your every move. I'll be studying, like, because that's what I do when I get to a new workplace, new work environment. For the first like month or two, I study everybody, because in my mind I'm thinking, I want to be that guy. I want to become an asset that you can't go without, right? Not just for the sake of the organization I'm working for, but for my own sake too, because I have much pride in my work, and getting to a place where I can proudly say, yeah, that's what I do, is that's what I aim for, right? Every time. And that's why I say, yes, you can be in a rivalry with somebody else or with other people, but at the end of the day, you should always come back to you. Like, how can I be better today than I was yesterday?
Yeah.
Every single time at every turn. So that's the way I kind of look at it. For me, it's another tool in your tool belt in terms of self-improvement.
Yeah, and it can definitely be a motivator. Like I know me when I was like I gave my example of the gym, like knowing that I had a training partner, I had a training team that I would just go into the gym every day and we would always everybody would always the pendulum would shift every workout, somebody would be stronger today than everybody else.
Mhm.
It would just be there then and everything would be and that would kind of motivate us. Oh man, I hit 300 in the squats last time. Today I could only do like 225. It felt like a freaking a rhino on my back. And then it gets you motivated. You start thinking about it. And next time you come in the gym, you hit the workout with a new reignited intensity.
Yep.
So it's definitely healthy. Like I think competition and rivalry kind of go hand in hand. And obviously, I think if you were to switch the word rivalry and to put the word competition in there, a lot of people would not be singing the same tune. They would not be looking at it so negatively. They would actually be like, "Oh yeah, of course, competition is a great thing to have in your life because it builds motivation. It help makes you set goals, this and that, blah 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 blah." But why is it that when you put a rival in that place of competition, or hand in hand with competition, why is it that it becomes so negative? There's even
I
quotes
think
by
I think yeah, go
like
ahead, go ahead.
I'm saying, look at this study. There's this quote by Henry Nover where they said, "In a world so torn apart by rivalry, anger, and hatred, we have the privileged vocation to be living signs of a love that can bridge all divisions to heal one." But the most important thing about that quote, I think, is the first part. In a world so torn apart by rivalry, like he mentions anger, hatred, war and stuff. But the first word that came to their mind was rivalry. Why is rivalry looked at in such a negative way? Like, I just don't understand that.
I think it's because when people think of rivalry, think of, you are willing to do anything and everything to win over your competition. I feel
Yeah.
like that's a big difference between rivalry and competition, where competition feels like a more broad concept versus rivalry is very targeted, it's very particular. It's like there's one particular individual or individuals that you are going up against and you're trying to overtake. And I don't know why, for whatever reason, people put a negative spin, a negative connotation to that sometimes, where it's just like, no, it just means that I'm trying to outdo you. It doesn't necessarily mean that, I hate you and I'm willing to sabotage you at every turn, every chance I get. You know, I
Yeah.
think it's um the I don't know if this is in general, but just going trying to address that negative aspect that people have, negative conception of rivalry. I think it's it, it fosters certain feelings, certain negative feelings in some people sometimes. Like usually in sports, that's the easiest place where you can see this. It's a fear of losing is why creates that antagonistic relationship with rivalry, if you ask me. People hate the thought of losing to the point that when you think about rivalry, right? In a I don't even want to say in the ideal world everybody's a winner, because I don't think that makes sense. If there is a winner, there needs to be a loser. That's just the way it goes. And for some people, it just doesn't sit well with them. Like I look at a loss as a learning opportunity to get better and eventually win. And I look at a win as a validation of the efforts I put in to put myself in that place. But not everybody has that kind of healthy approach to it. Some people, some people they don't focus on winning, they focus on not losing, which are
Yeah.
two very different things. You would think it's the same, but it's really not, because with winning, it means that you have a very uh purposeful, driven mindset. But with losing, you have a scared mindset. Or with not losing, you have a scared mindset, because you're saying whatever we do, whatever happens, at least I don't want to lose, right?
Yeah.
And so when you do lose, because you already framed it in a certain way in your mind, it creates those negative feelings inside of you. And I feel like the people that have come out with those quotes about rivalry and have painted it in a negative light, they've gone through those experiences. Maybe they lost the girl they love to somebody else that put in a little bit more effort to win her over, or they lost that job promotion to somebody else that they were in a rivalry with. And so they're like, man, this is not good. This doesn't help anybody. It's like, no, you just spun it the wrong way. And because of that, the outcome turned into something that you ended up hating with all your life. So
Yeah.
with every fiber of your being. And I think that's where it stems from. Well, most of the time, at least that's what I think.
Yeah, I think they're looking at probably rivalries that are built on hatred, and they're kind of just like, I guess, removing any possibility of there existing rivalries that are founded on
Healthy.
just like, yeah, just rivalries that are based on founded on like a genuine hunger for excellence, for success, like you can look at somebody and be like, hey, like, this person is my rival because I hate them. And you can also look at somebody else and say, hey, this person is my rival because they push me to get better at this thing. They're kind of
You
what
know
I
what?
look
It's
at
so
as a
funny
gold
you say
standard.
that, because as you're saying this, I'm remembering Naruto and Sasuke in the first half of Naruto,
Yeah.
when like Naruto literally had the healthy approach to it, where it's like, I want to beat you, Sasuke, and I will do whatever I need to get to that level. And at first, Sasuke also had a positive approach to their rivalry. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you know, we're going. I acknowledge you as one of my rivals during the tuning exam, the first part of it. But then it was one factor, one individual that switched up that whole dynamic. I don't know if you remember who that was.
I don't remember.
It was Gara, because Sasuke fought Gara and he didn't win. He barely escaped with his life, and he almost put his life on the line because back then, using the Chidori, you only had so many shots per day, and he wanted to go for a third shot, and he wouldn't be able to move after that. Meanwhile, Naruto was freestyling on this fool, summoning Gamabunta, doing the nine tail thing to tussle with Shukaku, Gaara's beast, and Sasuke witnessed that, right? And he was like, "Wait a minute! I thought we was on the same level. If anything, I thought I had kind of an edge over him a bit. What is this? Why is he fighting toe to toe with this guy who I took everything out of me and I still couldn't defeat?" And that's where the negative spin on their rivalry starting to seep into Sasuke's psyche. Because now this kind of goes back to the saying you had at the beginning about insecurities. It fed into his own insecurities about himself, that he wasn't strong enough. Because remember, he has a vendetta. He wants to take down Itachi. So strength and power is what he seeks. And he sees somebody that trumps him in that aspect. He's thinking to himself, wait a minute, this is a problem, because I'm trying to get like that, but he's already there when I thought I was winning the race. This is not okay. And then the second time, that was actually with Itachi, when Itachi came to the village, and guess who he was looking for? Naruto. He even cared about Sasuke. He's like, man, I ain't got time for your kiddie games. I'm here for big fish. I'm here for business. I'm trying to get Naruto. Let's get out of here. And Sasuke was in his feelings again, because like, what is this? You don't even know Naruto. Like, why do you care about this brat? What, like, what gives, right? And then the final nail in the coffin was when they had the clash on top of the hospital. And you remember when the Shidori and Rasengan clashed. I mean, Kakashi intervened, so he spun them, and they both hit like some water tanks. This dude Sasuke was so proud of himself. He was like, "Oh yeah, look at me. Look at what I did. Look at this nice little hole I made in this tank. All this water that's coming out." And he saw there was just like a little bit, tiny bit of water that was coming out of the tank that Naruto hit. And at that point, he was starting to feel good about himself, right? He was like, "Oh yeah, you know what? This is good. I'm winning out in this rivalry." My brother went out, looked at the back of the thing. He was like, "Yo, that no, 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 no." That's what made him leave the village. It was the last straw that broke the camel's back. He'd had enough. He's like, "No, this man, we're in this village. If this continues, he's going to leave me in the dust. I can't compete with him right now. I need to go somewhere that I'm gonna be able to obtain the power I desire, because this dude, this is not a rivalry anymore. Like, he's completely blowing me out the water, both literally and figuratively."
Yeah.
So this yeah.
Yeah, but like I think it's like you look at that rivalry and then you look at a rivalry like maybe and Asta, which is like a lot more healthy, like they kind of have this goal of they're just like, hey, we're both trying to become the Wizard King. So let's see who does it first. Let's see who ends up becoming the Wizard King. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just as simple as that. Like Sasuke is a simple-minded fool. Just
Oh
for going about it the way that he did.
damn!
Um,
Why you cooking this brother like that?
I mean, Naruto already cooked them, but we're just
Oh
we're just
my
we're
god!
just yeah, we're just reheating them.
We're just
But
adding a little sprinkle of sea salt, Himalayan salt. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, we're just reheating, the next day. Um, but and Asta, I think, are a great example of like a healthy rivalry because they never kind of had that. Maybe not never, but they like it wasn't a substantial amount of their relationship of them just being like toxically just locked into this cycle of, oh well, I'm just not good enough, and I just hate that you're so much better than me. It was never really like that for Asta. And for when he saw Asta getting stronger, and there were moments that just like I said with the gym example where the pendulum shifts, right? There's moments where you'll look at Asta and you'll be like, oh my god, he's so much stronger than and then you look at and you're like, oh man, just popped out this crazy magic move. He's much stronger than Asta right now, and it just keeps shifting and keeps shifting, and you kind of
Yeah,
get this sense that once they reach that goal, no matter who becomes the Wizard King, they won't resent each other for
there
it.
won't be
They're
no
actually gonna
animosity
they're
whatsoever.
gonna be
Yeah.
proud. They're actually gonna be proud of each other, and that's a healthy rivalry. You know,
Mhm.
that's kind of like if you have siblings, that's kind of the rivalry that you'll see.
Exactly, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, every time throughout the story, as they level up, I love those moments where they literally flex on each other. They're like, "Oh yeah, see what I can do," and then be like, "Oh, you think you're nice? Watch this. I'm nicer with it." Like, it's just this constant back and forth that really makes you root for both of them. Really, you end up not picking one side over the other because you can tell that they're genuinely enjoying the competition, but also they're friends, they're homies, they care for each other. So it's not toxic. It's more so I'm trying to be the best I could possibly be. And having you as my rival is only going to push me that much further every single time because I know that you're at least as driven as I am, if not more. And if you are, then I have to match that every single time. So it's like people don't understand the potential in a healthy rivalry
Yeah,
because you're not putting each other down, you're lifting each other up. So it's different from those toxic ones where you're trying to dominate the other person. You're like, nah, I need you to stay down. And that's why with Sasuke was so toxic because he really wanted Naruto to be below him. That's the only way that he looked at their rivalry as fun. Those people that like that, it's like, yeah, this is a fun rivalry because I always win. It's like,
yeah,
oh, what's gonna happen when you actually lose? Hmm?
yeah,
Is it still gonna be fun? Are you still gonna have that drive to keep going, or you going to be down in the dumps because of it? You're gonna be depressed, like, oh, boo hoo hoo, I lost. Like, come on now,
yeah.
like, it's not the same.
But
And yeah, go ahead.
what about this study? Like, let's say like to someone who's listening that doesn't have a rival or anything like that. Like, how would they go about like building that relationship, and should it be something that you actually go out and seek? Like, should you seek a rival if you don't have it? Is it something you need in your life, or is it something that if you have it or if you can get it, it'll be good, but if you don't have it, don't sweat it? Like, what would you say?
Do you remember the first thing I started with
What?
when we opened up? I said, at the end of the day, more often than not, your number one rival should be yourself.
Yeah,
So really, it's just a matter of, do you look at it that way or not? Are you able to see the potential in that? Are you able to see that I can be my own competition? I don't necessarily need to have somebody else that I'm going to, uh, you know, bounce off of. I can be my own drive in that aspect because people talk about, for example, going to the gym, right, or trying to adopt a healthier lifestyle and this and that, and they always think I need an accountability partner. That's nice, that's cool. The problem is when you do that, though, you end up relying too much on that. You end up becoming a little bit too dependent on that, and then when that accountability partner isn't around anymore, or they have other priorities and they're not able to come through like that, what does that mean for you? Does that mean you're going to stop on your journey, or are you going to keep going? But
yeah,
if you have that mindset of, I'm my own competition, I want to be better tomorrow than I am today, you're going to make it happen, you know. So to answer your question, I feel like y- y- everybody has a potential to be in a rivalry, and that's with themselves. Now, it's a blessing when you find somebody else who's on that same wavelength as you, and y'all can both embark on that journey, right? And y'all can hold each other accountable and keep pushing each other to greater heights. That's an amazing feeling. If you can find that in a close friend, family, significant other, whatever the case may be, if you can find that, that's a blessing, and hold on to that person, right? Because they're probably the realest person you have in your circle. But if you don't have that, that shouldn't be a deterrent. You should still be able to find it within yourself to have that competition with yourself, and try to be better. Because that's what I do all the time. Like, I don't necessarily have rivals, and I mean, at work, I wouldn't essentially call them rivals, because it's a competition, right? Like you do your job really well. I'm trying to do my job just as well, if not better. Because at the end of the day, I'm doing this mostly for me. It's a sense of a joy and pride I get out of being good or being better. And
Yeah.
like I look at where I started, I look at where I'm at now, and I think to myself, wow, I've come a long way. And I can
Yeah.
still go further. Like, it's such a fun feeling, because life is never boring when you live that way. And it doesn't mean that you have to obsess over it. It doesn't mean that you can't be satisfied where you're at, because you should be. You embark on a journey. You're not where you were before. So clearly, any progress that you make at the end of the day, it's positive, right? But sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent here, just got in my bag a little bit. But yeah,
No, you're good.
long story short, man, just if you don't have that one person, just do it yourself. You're like, "Yeah, I'll do it myself." Like, what was that thing that Thanos said? Like, when his
I'll do
henchmen couldn't
it.
do the work for him, he's like, "Yeah, I'll just do it my own self, my damn self,"
Yeah.
or something.
Sometimes you just got to do it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I definitely do feel that with like the you being your best rival, or like your toughest rival. Like, I know me myself, where I am at life right now. Sometimes I look back at like who I used to be, like old personal records at the gym, old PRs, and maybe even um like for example skincare. I'm really into skincare, so I look back sometimes at how my skin was, and it wasn't really like the healthiest, and now it's I would consider it very healthy. Um, and a lot of people usually give me compliments about my skin, and so sometimes like if I'm getting lazy or something, I don't want to do my skincare. The night after work, it's been a hard day of work, or after the gym, I'm like, oh, I'll just shower tonight. Might as well, just wash my face then instead, and moisturize then, and or I just like am getting too lazy to reapply sunscreen. I just like sometimes I just start thinking back to like how I used to be, and like I was like, well, I've long since surpassed that, and I definitely don't want to lose to that version of myself, and go back to it and revert back to who I was. So you know, might as well just take the 2 seconds that it requires for me to upkeep my skin for today, and that's kind of a way that I do it. Um, I love cooking, so sometimes I make like a fake rivalry. Like I'm like, oh, let me search up this recipe by I don't know Chef Ainsley or Gordon Ramsay or whatever, and I'm like, oh, let me make it look better than his. So there's tons of little fun like kind of rivalries. You can think of it like this: you're playing a game of you like a cooking game, and the Gordon Ramsay's the boss for today. For this level. That's just all it is. There's no like mystical like, oh, rivalry is the heart of all destruction and mankind, like some of these quotes are trying to tell you. Like, no, rivalry can be a very simple, accessible tool at your disposal to grow yourself as a person and to push yourself, motivate you, and develop you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't have to look at external factors when you think about this. Say, if I come up to any one of these people that came up with those quotes, or people that live by those quotes, and I ask them, you ever wanted to be better? at anything at any point in your life. Okay, that was a rivalry with yourself. How you feel about that? Hmm? So it's like I think people, they have just a um very particular idea of what they're thinking when they think about rivalry, right? It's a very specific thing, and they're like, okay, that right here, that's toxic, that's detrimental. Okay, you don't want that. It's like, no, it's literally just another way of life in you know, from a different angle.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that deep, but you know, speaking of different angles, man, there was a little, a little rating game I wanted to run by you right quick. Tell me how you feel. Like I list to you um a couple rivalries. I want you to give me like a rating 1 to 10, how you feel about them.
Okay. What do you mean
Uh,
1 to 10? 10 being what and 1 being what?
in terms of quality, 10 being the healthiest a rivalry can be, and one being the most toxic rivalry can
Okay.
be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, so I know how much you love My Hero Academia, right?
Oh god.
It's been so long since we talked about. I know you've missed it, so out of consideration for you, I decided I'll bring it back. Deku and Bakugo, man. Kachan, right?
Oh my
I
god. You gotta
know
be
you love
kidding
that
me.
name.
Oh god, that's a zero, instant zero. It's
Oh,
not. It's even outside of the bar. It's like
oh
it's a zero.
no, the bar
But
could not be any lower.
yeah, it's just an awful. What an awful freaking.
Does it change if I add Todoroki to the mix?
It doesn't even change, man. It
Oh,
doesn't. I mean, he has nothing to the mix anyway, so he's literally
oh
nothing. Like
Lord have mercy.
I love Todoroki. Like I mean, I don't love Todoroki. Let's not exaggerate. Nobody's out here putting Todoroki posters on their wall unless you're 12. But I like Todoroki as a character, and like he adds nothing to that dynamic, man. I'm sorry. Like we watched that movie. For those that don't know, Teddy came out to my neck of the woods once. We went out to watch like a My Hero movie together.
I was a snooze fest, bro.
It was a snooze fest, and they try to put this scene. It's like towards the end where like Todoroki, Todoroki, Deku, and Bakugo are all fighting, and they all kind of have their moment where you see, their ultimate attack, and it's kind of like a rivalry thing. And it's just like, bro, like this, like is the most hollow shell of a rivalry. Like there's no setup to it at all. It's just a hollow. It
It, it
almost like a carbon copy
it's just for
of.
optics.
Yeah, it's just for optics. It's not. There's no substance. So yeah, 0 out of 10 for that. Even with Todoroki thrown in there, I mean, he's a good character, but that doesn't mean
Wait,
like
what are you about to say? Say it's like a carbon copy of what?
I don't even remember. I honestly lost my train of thought.
It's like, yeah, I guess it's like they try to do like a cookie cutter type of
You like
rivalry.
shonen, like shonen rivalry
Yeah,
cookie cutter. Like, oh, if we put this in here, people will be like, oh, this is like Naruto or other shonen. Like, a good rivalry. Freaking look at Ichigo versus Renji.
oh,
Look
no,
at
no,
a
no, no,
lot of
no, no, no,
people,
no, no.
bro.
I have to stop you right there, bro. I have to stop you because Ichigo versus Renji, right? Back like on the raid on Soul Society, I would have given that rivalry like a good 8. Because
That's what
why?
we're talking about.
They were close to each other, and like you could tell that they were trying to one up each other actively. My brother, after Ichigo achieved Bankai, Renji was a non-factor. He's not even in the conversation anymore. So, like,
Yeah, but that
to
doesn't,
me,
Teddy. You had to go by your own standards. How did it become toxic then? Because one
so
is toxic, so that means it must have shifted towards toxic. Nothing changed though in their dynamic. One
so
got
no, no,
stronger, but they didn't get toxic.
I guess, okay, maybe not just toxic, but I'll say, like, because 10 is healthy, right? So one would naturally be unhealthy, and toxic is just another variant of that. The
Yeah.
reason why I say it's closer to a one than it is to like even a five or a six is because Ranji, he kind of maintained in his mind that he still has, because even in Thousand Year Blood War, you see right now, in his mind, he still thinks that maybe there is something to be done, like in terms of his rivalry with Ichigo. But when you decide, hey, I can't hang with you. You go deal with Yuha back. I'm just gonna stand back here and handle the riffraff down here. You're already putting yourself on a level below the other person. At that point, it's not really a rivalry anymore. I can call that a healthy rivalry because you're putting yourself down. You're not thinking, I want to go for the head honcho with you because I feel like we're on the same level or we're close
No,
to each
no, no,
other.
no, 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 no. That actually shows a healthy rivalry because you're able to acknowledge the level that you're at now, and you're able to say, "Listen, I can't give you like a healthy like a one-on-one spar right now, right? I'm not on that level.
You have a challenge.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna help you with what I can now and hold off the rest so that you can shine. But trust me, I'm gonna get my time to shine." And there's actually been moments in Black Clover with Yuno and Asta doing that too, where Asta was the one that had to take down the main villain, while Yuno actually has to take down like the lackey. Even though Yuno had the potential to take down the main villain. There's even one of our most famous not famous but favorite examples of, remember in the I'm sorry, it's been a while since I watched this stuff, but you remember like the water kind of island on in Black Clover? Who
I
was the one?
remember
I don't
the
even
Water
remember the
Temple.
villain's name. I don't even remember the villain's name, but you know who beat him.
Is Vivito, yeah, or Vivito, something
You
like that.
yeah, you know who had her shining moment against him, Noel. And
Yeah.
so that's the thing, like healthy rivalry, and I think it's toxic to think that you have to completely be on the person's level or neck and neck every time. Sometimes you will have those moments like where like you're gonna have to like let the other person shine, and there's gonna be those moments where they'll let you shine, that's the
I
way I
get
look
I
at it.
understand what you're saying. I think the way I look at it is just like this. If I'm really good at something, right? And somebody else comes to me and they say they're my rival, I can let them think that in their mind. I just want to acknowledge them until they get close to me. But that's just me because I feel like the way I look at a productive rivalry is one where we're pushing each other. And if you're so beneath me, there is no way that you stimulate me. And so I like, as a rival, your existence doesn't register for me.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
just keep going and doing my thing and I'm waiting for you to catch up. And it's like, when you're here, we can have a conversation, but until then, just work on yourself and get better. You can look at me as your barometer for what you're trying to become, but as far as the rivalry is concerned, I was like, it's not even fair, you know? Like I don't know if you saw this. It was like a really quick thing towards the end of Naruto Shippuden when Konohamaru was fighting against Naruto for during the tuning
oh god,
exam because Naruto never passed it, but he was
yeah,
way broken by that point. So like people would be like, yeah, Konohamaru's always been a rival to Naruto because even when they were younger, when they were kids, he will say that one day I'll surpass you. My brother, I'm looking at this fight. It's like this is a bullying session. It's not
yeah,
even remotely close, right? So
yeah.
that's kind of what I'm looking at. Like right now, I feel like if Ichigo and Renji were to fight, Ichigo will bully that boy. Like Renji would do a lot. I'm not saying he would get folded, but he would get bullied at the end of the day. So that's why like I look at the rival, I'm like,
Yeah, I
I
definitely
don't
do see
know.
that Ichigo's definitely much stronger than Renji, but don't forget Renji got a lot stronger too with the whole when they both went to the Royal Palace, they both got a bump up in strength. Renji before he went up there, he wouldn't have been able to take out one of the Stern Ritters, and when he got down, he was able to take a Stern Ritter, and it was
Like
actually
he was
because
actually Tango v Bass B. Like
yeah,
this dude is different.
exactly, and it was because of Renji doing that, tangling with Baz B, that Ichigo was able to go and confront Yuhavak and nearly reach him. If it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have been able to reach her. And that's kind of the
Yeah.
point. Like you have to kind of like know and choose your battles. Like you got to know when it's your time to shine, right? Like
And I guess,
I,
yeah,
it would have been
that's,
toxic if Renji would have like literally said, "Listen, Ichigo, I'm actually so much stronger right now. I got much stronger than I was before. Let's just fucking fight right now. Screw this whole arc. Let's just fight." Like that's just toxic because it's just stupid. Like that's not what's needed right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
at
mean,
this point,
I'm not
logic.
saying right now, right? I'm
Yeah,
not even saying during this art because they, of course, it wouldn't make sense. I'm just saying in terms of like their approach to the battlefield, where I feel like there will be a bunch of other people that could have dealt with the Rift Raft too. But then again, it's different because I'm looking at everything that happened. Is like, now he needed to be there. Like he needed to stay back and let Ichigo go and deal with that because
yeah.
yeah, they wouldn't. And I guess also with Bleach, the reason why I look at Ranger, I was like, nah, is because I look at Kenpachi, I look at Byakuya, I look at Aizen as those people that are rivals to Ichigo, right? So because I have that in my mind, when I hear Ranger, I'm like, who?
You know what I would say, Teddy? It's
Mm,
not that it. I think you would actually change the bar because the rivalry is unhealthy. It's that the rivalry is just like it's not
lopsided.
close. Yeah, it's lopsided. Like at that point, yeah,
Yeah.
like if it's like 10 is close and 1 is like, bro, they're like worlds apart. Yeah, of course it's gonna be like it's probably gonna even be at 1 because Ichigo's so much stronger. But if you're talking about healthy and unhealthy, I mean, there's literally like I don't even think there's anything even unhealthy about it. It's like, they're the best of friends and
That is true.
they're
That is
actually
true. They do get along, like even when they were training up in the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Soul King's palace. Like they were getting along. So yeah, yeah, I'll probably give them like a at least like a solid 9. Like, they're probably
Something
up
nice.
there. They're probably up there. Um, I feel about Goku, man. Goku and Vegeta.
Goku and Vegeta. I'm just gonna start. Okay, let's go down the line. I'm just gonna start saying it without even thinking. I'll say like a solid 6 or something, 7. I'm
It's
not
just
thinking.
like your gut feeling. Just
Yeah, I'm not even thinking about it. So don't don't kill me for this.
nah, I understand. I understand. She. Mm.
I do like the rivalry, like Goku and Vegeta, though. Like I like how Vegeta sometimes gets his time to shine. Sometimes he just pulls up and he's like, "Listen, like Goku, I'm stronger than you right now. You're a scrub. Get out of my way." I mean, he still gets bodied anyways, and Goku still has to come in and regulate. But you know,
It's just so funny their dynamic because in the story, you're always shown that Goku always had the edge up over Vegeta because of the opponents they end up going up against, like the
yeah,
route, right? But then when they fight each other, I don't think Vegeta's ever lost in
yeah,
1v1 against Goku. So it's very interesting how like that dynamic is. Like the rival is very interesting. It's like they're
yeah.
fighting each other. This dude comes on top, but then and they're fighting other people. It's like, oh shoot.
That's actually
Uh
one thing I wanted to mention about Deku and Bakugo, where like Deku, a lot of people would say like he's much stronger than Bakugo, like just by the opponents that they face, right? Bakugo probably wouldn't be able to beat the people that Deku beat, right? But
yeah.
when they fought, I mean, dude, it was neck and neck. It was
Yeah.
really, really cutthroat. Like Bakugo could have easily taken that.
Yeah, he could he definitely could have. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. Okay. Um say Kageyama Hinata.
Ooh, I actually love that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty biased, so I'll give it like a 10.
I'm yeah, I'm biased too. I'll allow it. I'll allow it because I
Yeah,
agree.
I love that shit, man. I love it.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like it's so authentic, so organic. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and I love how it started off very, very like
Antagonistic is all hell. Like they
antagonistic at
did
first.
not mess with each other in the slightest.
Yeah,
They're like, nah, I don't want to smell you right now.
yeah.
And then
That's how you know it's real. It's genuine.
yeah, exactly. Like it's just and then they brought the whole team along with them when they noticed like, yo, these first years they're really going in. We can't let them show us up like that. So
Yeah.
yeah. I love it. I love it. See, this is the type of stuff I live for, man. It's like you bringing other people up with you through your rivalry. It's a beautiful thing. Let's see here. Sawamura and Furia from Ace of
Ace
Diamond.
no diamond.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'd say like a solid shit. Maybe
Anything
like
lower than a six, I'm fighting you. I'll
I
just
was
tell
gonna
you that
say
right
I
now.
was debating between 7 and 8. I'll
Okay.
say like a solid 8. No, 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 not 6.
I'm
Definitely not
like,
6.
anything lower than that, man, we're gonna have problems because
I love
I
Ace
know
no
for a
diamond,
fact
man.
that yeah, yeah. Like there it's just they like that's the picture perfect scenario of
Hey, shout
pushing each
out
other.
shout out to Baby Steps, Eiichiro, and I forgot the girl's name.
Oh yeah,
They
oh
hooked up, but they
yeah.
had a little healthy rivalry too. She's the one that got him into it, and then she was so much better than him, and then he slowly starts to get on her level and surpass her, but she still kind of stays neck and neck and helps him train. So I love seeing that. That's like kind of a more it looks like a more real world healthy relationship slash rivalry.
I keep forgetting to watch that because I want to know if they end up together or not.
They definitely do.
Oh, ho, 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 ho,
It
ho,
doesn't it
ho,
doesn't
yeah.
happen in the anime though. It happens apparently like in the manga or something, but the manga got discontinued because apparently, whatever.
Yeah.
You know the story.
I hate the manga and anime industry sometimes. Like stories that deserve a proper ending sometimes don't get it for one reason or another.
Yeah.
Or they don't get a proper anime adaptation. Yo, Baby Steps, if he had a proper full-on anime adaptation and the story was fully fleshed out, people would be talking about it to this day because he's so grounded.
Yeah.
And it can give people that understanding that anime is not like just crazy over the top animation. Like it can be really grounded. But um, let me see here. I had one more I wanted to run by you, but um, oh yeah, that's right. Luffy, Kid and Law.
Bruh. I mean, this just about to be another zero, bro. Like
Oh
this is another thing where it's like, I mean, they have that moment like on Wano, which I guess like I started to kind of finally feel it for a second, where they're like, oh, I'm gonna beat Kaido. No, I'm gonna beat Kaido. Oh, no, I'm gonna do it. And then they both try to dodge his blast, and it's kind of funny where like they all scrunch up their faces and try to like get away from it to see what was it? It was a competition to see who dodges first, who
yeah. Oh, who
dodges
dodges
Kaido's,
last? It's
or
like
who
the
dodges last.
whoever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoever dodges last wins
Yeah.
because you just stay there and take and tank it. Like, come
So,
on now.
so there, yeah, that is such a stupid, but I mean, it makes for such a funny moment, and I think that actually is a really good example of how a rivalry really looks like. If you have like a sibling, or even like a friend, like a very close friend, like I know with my gym friends, we would do stuff like that all the time, like just screwing around. Um, so I mean, just for the meme is definitely a 0 out of 10 because I mean, bro, apart from that moment, like what rivalry? Like, it's almost as if saying, Teddy, oh, I see that bagel in your profile picture, Teddy. That bagel is now my rival. And I keep just like every week that we're on stream, I'm like, yeah, that bagel is my rival. The bagel is my
Hey,
rival.
hey, from the bagel, it's a chocolate croissant.
It's a
Okay.
chocolate croissant,
I think so, or cake. Something like
a
it's not.
cake.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's there's one cake, two chocolate croissants, and apple turnover.
Oh, apple turnover. That's what it is. That's what
Yeah,
that. I thought it
yeah.
was like a ham and cheese kind of folded.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no, yeah. I can see how that would look like that from the outside. Yeah, no, 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 no. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what that is.
But yeah,
Yeah. So
you
so
know what I'm
so
talking
that's
about.
what I mean. They're not that far apart. Come on now. Like love
No,
with
no,
the
no,
with
no,
this.
no.
Yeah,
I think they're all pretty like close, but I'm talking about just in terms of like
but the
the
portrayal, like I don't know.
health.
Like
Yeah,
what?
the maybe the portrayal, the health of it. Like I don't really see how Luffy's getting anything out of this rivalry. So I don't see how it's healthy for anybody
You
because
know,
it's just dumb.
it's it's so funny you say that because I think out of the three, Kid is the one that's more bent up on the fact that they're rivals, and
Yeah.
Luffy just laughs in his face every time he says that. Most of the
Yeah.
times, like, bruh, come on now. Don't do this, little bro. Don't do this. You're gonna get hurt.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
no, but I have the true final rivalry for you, bro. Zoro and Sanji. Come on, give it to me.
Bruh, come on.
Give it to
This is
me.
like a million out of 10, bro.
Oh, is
One
it?
one
Isn't it the
million out
most
of 10.
toxic
It is pretty toxic,
relationship?
but I love it, bro. I can't get her anything less than a 10
He
because
said,
I
"Let
just
him
love it.
cook."
I love Yeah, let them cook, bro. Like this is the thing, like they keep bickering and nobody even knows what they're even arguing about anymore, like where it start. It's just almost like an inherent natural rivalry, like and
They just look at each other and they start beefing.
this is one thing that we had to touch on for the people too. Like, there's gonna be those people that you just naturally you just don't get along with, and it's not just you just don't like mess with them, right? And like you just ignore them, right? It's like somebody that like you keep arguing with, you just can't help but
For
bicker
no
with them
reason.
for
It's
no
just
reason.
something about them that just rubs you the wrong way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So that's a rivalry in and of itself as well.
I'd say they probably have the most iconic rivalry in all of anime.
Yeah,
One of the most iconic. Like people to the point that it spreads to their fandoms. Like the fans are also beefing all the time. Like
yeah.
it's so funny.
Dude, I remember growing up, Naruto Sasuke rivalry between the fan bases. I used to go hard for my boy Naruto. I was telling people all the time, "Yo, Naruto, just wait, watch when Naruto gets his hands on Sasuke, he's gonna wash him." People said I was crazy. That would never happen. He's never gonna beat Sasuke. Sasuke will never admit defeat. Well, look at what fucking happened. Sasuke admitted defeat. I win. You all lose. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's what,
Go argue with Kishimoto. I'm done now.
get
So,
wrecked. Get wrecked. That's
get
it.
wrecked.
Get wrecked. Oh man.
Oh man, get
But yeah,
home.
man.
I love
This
it.
was
I
a
love it.
this was a fun topic, man. Like I didn't expect this out of the rivalry thing. Like I mean I did expect a good conversation always, but you know, it was a good one. Do you have any kind of last or anything else you wanted to get to at all, Teddy?
Man, I think we did the rounds, man. I think we went over everything we want to talk about.
Yeah.
I just say don't be scared of rivalries, man. They're good for you when you know how to, you know, when you know how to foster the right kind of rivalry, whether it be with yourself or with other people. It's when you get into those situations with the wrong people, that's when it can get toxic, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, we hit it. We hit, I guess, the nail on the head with what we wanted to say. We got some topics down the pipeline already. We have a kind of a layout of things we want to talk about next week. We're gonna get a little bit into fan service, and then after that, we're gonna do some like I think a two-part series of some pretty interesting stuff, and and who knows, we might throw in another random video here or there. Just I am thinking about, Teddy. I don't know how you feel about this, but we'll talk about it. Like maybe doing a video on like One Piece season 2 live action, like kind of theories, expectations, what do we want out of it. Just a video kind of being more chill and just talking some One Piece.
Oh yeah,
If
I'm
you're down
I'm
for
I'm
that.
down. I'm down absolutely. Because I mean, I've been rewatching the live action and oh my
Nice.
God, like this, like if it's one thing they nailed is the casting. The casting was on freaking point. I mean, Emily Rudd, Lord save my soul. I can't
Oh
get
my
enough.
god.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean with that you guys, we'll leave you here. We are out.